The early cries for assistance that were made by Sarah Wiley were rejected and assumed to be nothing more than a childish prank that was designed to scare other people who were at the beach. In this video, we will tell the story of Sarah Wiley, a young woman who met her end in the shark-infested waters of Amity Point on North Stradbroke Island in Australia. 21 years old as of January 7, 2006. They were having a normal fun day at the beach in the waters of Amity Point, where they were renting a holiday house. They were tourists on North Stradbroke Island, and this came with a serious flaw that locals on the island did not have. Sarah and her group didn't know just how dangerous those particular waves were, and they weren't to wear them because in those weather conditions, sharks were more likely to coexist with humans. Sarah Wiley was visiting North Stradbroke Island with several of her friends from a church group. Sarah Wiley rushed forward, unaware that she was about to have a tragic and bloody encounter that would spark debate about the safety of Australian waters, also known as Strati or North Strati. North Stradbroke Island is located in the Australian state of Queensland, about 19 miles southeast of Brisbane's central business district. It is the location of Amity, a rural town that has a limited number of permanent residents but welcomes a large number of visitors. The village is located at the northwestern point of North Stradbroke Island, known as Amity Point. Directly adjacent to it lie Rainbow Channel, the entry to Moreton Bay. The channel is close to the shore, but it is also tidal and deep as locals are aware. Shark sightings aren't rare, but Sarah Wiley wasn't a local. She was a tourist who loved swimming, and she was good at it. According to her family, Sarah had been swimming since before she could even walk. Being in the water was Sarah's second nature, and it was normal for her to push her limits as she moved quickly through the waves. However, as fate sometimes has it, her greatest pleasure would also bring her an untimely end. January 7, 2006 was an exceptionally cloudy day. Despite the fact that the sky was cloudy and there wasn't much light, and that there had been a fairly large storm the night before, which meant that the weather was still murky and dirty with a lot of wash-off, Sarah Wiley, 21, and her church friends decided to go swimming anyway. The friends jumped into the water. Sarah Wiley was swimming in the water up to her neck when disaster struck. But according to witnesses, the girl swam out of the clear shallows and into the deeper water of Rainbow Channel because she was an experienced swimmer. The day was slowly coming to an end, but there was still time for a couple more minutes of frolicking in the waves. The waters at Amity Point were unpatrolled, which may have contributed to the appeal of the place. Sarah most likely had confidence in her skills, but in light of the events that transpired, she should not have been concerned about her capabilities. Soon after she discovered the marker buoys that indicated the presence of drum lines, she ought to have been concerned about what was hidden beneath the waves. The aquatic traps, known as drum lines, are designed to catch large sharks in particular, and are typically set up close to beaches frequented by swimmers. Their purpose is to reduce the risk of shark attacks by luring and capturing the predators. Sarah Wiley was getting closer and closer to the base and the aquatic debris by swimming closer to them. The young woman put herself in danger by doing so, but she did so unknowingly. By the time she got there, it was probably too late to alter the tragic course of events. When Sarah was suddenly swept away while swimming toward the shore, she was only a few yards from her companions when the incident occurred. When she re-emerged 5 or 6 seconds later, she could only utter the word shark. Sarah had been making her way back to the shore and was swimming toward it when it occurred. She screamed in pain and terror, but her friends and the other people on the beach couldn't see anything at first, so they naturally thought the young woman was joking or trying to pull a prank on her friends, especially considering there were a lot of dolphins in the water. Meanwhile, Sarah was being attacked by sharks, and when she started screaming again, people finally realized how serious the situation was. Other people at the beach also hurried over to assist the young woman as her friends did. Josiah Tupel, who was at the beach with his pregnant wife and his 5 children when he heard the screams of terror, sprung into action. There was a possibility that the girl was only joking, but what if she was drowning and yelled shark because she knew it would catch the attention of more people, or if there were sharks actually in the water? We do know that after realizing Sarah was actually in mortal danger, people rushed to help her. When his relative Hungu Tupau, who had also rushed to help, went to grab Sarah's arm in order to pull her out of the water, the man was terrified to see that her arm simply wasn't there anymore. When rescue workers finally succeeded in pulling Sarah from the water, they used towels in an attempt to stem the flow of blood. Because Sarah had sustained such severe injuries, it was obvious that her condition was very serious. When paramedics from Queensland Ambulance Service arrived, the girl was suffering from severe bleeding, and her arms, her legs, and her torso had all sustained horrific injuries. After the paramedics had left Sarah, her friends and other beachgoers were stunned and continued to hug and cry for a long time after they had left Sarah. Sarah was airlifted to Brisbane's Alexandra Hospital and reportedly rushed into surgery. However, it was not enough to save her 21-year-old life. Sarah was barely alive. Sarah Wiley passed away not long after due to massive blood loss and shock all along the beaches that were within a stretch of more than a mile. Both east and west of the location of the attack were immediately closed. Despite the fact that they weren't 100% sure, investigators made an educated guess and assumed that multiple sharks were responsible for the attack. The attack sparked a conversation about safety measures, primarily due to the fact that the beach in question had been protected by Queensland's Shark Safety Program since 1997, when the program's then acting director first took office. According to Premier Anna Bligh, the attack demonstrated that the Shark Safety Program was not an impenetrable barrier between bathers and sharks. As a result, she ordered an investigation to determine whether or not the program was still effective. The initial account stated that Sarah had been swimming with her dog, which was reportedly what initially attracted the sharks, but these accounts soon proved to be false. In point of fact, there was not a single factor that led to the attack. Rather, there were several, including the gloomy weather and the murky water, both of which played a part in the occurrence of the events, as did the fact that Sarah had unknowingly swum too close to the baits. According to reports, the attack took place around 5:30 p.m. in the afternoon, and it took place in January, a time of year when sharks are especially active in the region. Most locals saw the attack on Sarah Wiley as unavoidable, and many were surprised that it hadn't happened sooner. According to locals, there was a difference between them and mere visitors, and visitors didn't know the water, and there should have been warning signs upon entering the water. According to her friends, she was a girl who loved having a good time and lived life to the fullest. She was well liked by the people in her community. Unfortunately, Sarah's death was the first shark-related death to occur at a beach protected by the Queensland Shark Safety Program since the program's implementation in 1962. Sarah had always been an exceptionally compassionate girl. You can reduce the risk of being attacked by a shark in Australia by doing a few different things. The first thing you should do is avoid swimming in areas where sharks are known to be present, such as near seal colonies or areas where there has been a recent shark attack. The second piece of advice is to swim in groups rather than alone, because sharks are more likely to attack people who are swimming alone. The third piece of advice is to avoid swimming at dawn, dusk, or night, because these are the times when sharks are the most active. Finally, in the event that you spot a shark, you should attempt to exit the water as quickly and calmly as you can. That's it for today. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to share, and press the bell icon for more regular updates.